And Usman was setting the table with the jab. He was doing a great job striking. Trevor Whitman, he was a former boxing trainer, and now he's a big MMA coach, big UFC striking coach, MMA striking coach. Does a great job. But I thought his boxing degree actually, again, betrayed him and hurt him. Because when that throwaway left hand came at him, he slipped his head to his right to get away from it, the way that you would in boxing. But he forgot that this ain't boxing. This is MMA. This is UFC specifically. And there's kicks to worry about. And he moved his head to get away from what he thought was a punch and was a throwaway punch, but he forgot all about the kick. So his boxing, his concentration on boxing, and his level of learning boxing to the level he has actually hurt him. It actually, took him down to a certain degree, and added to his demise in this area. And I taking nothing away from Trevor Whitman, nothing away. I respect him. He's a good guy. He does a great job. I already said that. But in the corner, he was telling him, you could hear it. He was telling him to do more striking, not more, grappling, more on the floor, to concentrate on the striking. And the one thing, when he said that, that's what a boxing coach would say. There's no doubt about it. But I might have wanted to hear the voice of an MMA coach in there too. Maybe. And again, taking nothing away from him. He's doing his job from a boxing standpoint. And he's done a great job. And he's improved them. And he's won with them. I'm just saying that at that point, I might have wanted, Ken, an MMA voice too. Because the MMA voice might have said, no. Keep him on the floor. Kill time. You can't lose except by knockout. And the best chance of being knocked out is standing, not being submitted on the mat. So an MMA coach might have said the opposite of a boxing coach. He might have said, I want you to kill the clock. I want you to keep him on his back. And if that's the way we end it, fine. You earned the fight. You earned the right to do that. Let's finish up here and get the win and get out of here. But he's competitive. I get it. And I think a part of what conspired against Usman also was that he got overconfident. I always talk about this, Ken. I want a guy calm. You got to become calm in an uncalm environment. You do. But never become comfortable. Never feel safe in a dangerous environment. If you're a lion tamer, you want to be calm in that lion cage and know what the freak you're doing. But you never want to feel safe. It's a lion. And I felt that he got to a place by having the success that he had. I thought success hurt him. That he had the success he had, it almost became too easy. Where Edwards, we love Edwards, and we had him on our show, and people should listen to that interview. And Edwards, I said to him during the interview, listen, great fight, to knock out a great fighter, you got to set him up. You're not just going to knock him out because you're a good puncher. You're not going to knock him out naked, cold. You got to set him up. And I said, if you want to see a great fighter and watch tape of a great fighter that did that, watch the tape of the great Jersey Joe Walcott. How he set guys up, how he set up the great Cincinnati Cobra, maybe the greatest light heavyweight of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time, probably had 200 pro fights, Ezra Charles. Watch how he set him up, with moving his hands, moving his shoulders, moving his shorts a little bit, and hypnotized him. Got him to look where he shouldn't have been looking. Got him to feel comfortable. Got him to feel safe for a second. where he thought he didn't have to worry, and he did have to worry. Then he caught him with an uppercut from above, just like he caught him with a kick from below, just like Edwards caught him with a kick below. So I told Edwards, look at that. Obviously, I think he looked at it. Whatever. I'm not taking credit for anything. He went out there and he had the resolve to still be there after losing solidly in the fight. And look, I give you the x-ray of the fight, the whole thing. He was getting broken down mentally a little bit. He was, but he didn't give in. He didn't give in. He didn't say no. He didn't submit, but he was showing signs. His body language. And you know who I'm going to give credit to right here, Ken? I'm going to give huge kudos to. He should get a bonus from Edwards. I'm going to give him a huge credit. The coach. In the corner, he recognized that Edwards was mentally starting to fade, starting to get deflated, starting to give in a little bit. And he yelled at him. He did what he had. Sometimes you just give instructions. Simple. Hey, listen, you got to keep this hand up. You got to move your head. You got to be more aware of the left hook. Sometimes you got to motivate. Sometimes you got to wake your guy up. Sometimes you got to shake your guy up. Sometimes you got to remind your guy that he's blowing it, that he's going to a place he shouldn't be, and that pretty soon it's going to be too long to get back to the right place. That's what this coach did. That's what he did. He woke.
That's Dave Lavelle, I believe.
Dave Lavelle, if that's him,
Make sure he gets his credit.
He woke and shook up this guy. He was honest with him. He wasn't one of these jackass. I don't mean to be cursing today, but I don't know. Is ass that bad to say? He was one of the. He wasn't one of these jackasses that I see in boxing. I see in the corners all the time. Sometimes even in MMA, I see that they want to go along to get along. They just want to howl for their meals. They just want to be buddy treatment with the guy. They just want to be friends with the guy. They just don't want the guy to get mad at him. They just don't want to get fired. They just want to get their paycheck, and they just you're winning every round. What? Yeah, I don't know. I'm watching a different fight. You're doing great, champ. Really? Like the old boxing joke where the fighter's getting the crap beat out of him, and he comes back, and the corner tells him, "You're doing great," and he goes, "Really? Okay, do me a favor." "Yeah, what's that?" "Keep an eye on the ref because somebody's beating the crap out of me. All right? So do me a favor, keep an eye on him because, I don't know, you're telling me I'm doing great. Somebody's putting a whooping on me." And I'm sick of those guys, those cheerleaders, those guys. Where's my pom-poms? Nah, never mind. I'm tired of those guys. This guy told him the truth. This guy did his job. This guy won the fight. Yeah, I know Edwards won the fight. And we love him. I love him. And I'm proud of him. And I'm happy for him, the decent human being that he is, the humble man that he is, his story, everything. I'm so happy for him.
By the way, Teddy, that guy's been with Leon since he's a teenager, I believe. He when he joined Team Renegade in Birmingham, this guy Dave Lavelle's been with him, almost like a father figure to him for years. So it's so great, too, when you see these guys come up and they stay with the same coaches and they bring them along. Even if they add to the arsenal of other coaches, they don't shit-can the guy who's helped get him to where he is. I like it.
I hear you. Let me tell you something. Marvin Hagler was loyal all the way through. A lot of people were knocking the Petronellis and saying you should get rid of them. You get rid of these white guys. Marvin Hagler, for those people living in the cave that don't know, he was a great black man, by the way, and one of my favorite fighters of all time, and maybe the greatest southpaw of all time, and maybe the greatest middleweight of all time. Definitely right up there in the top 2 or 3. And Marvin Hagler, with all of that, and Petronelli's put him in a lot of tough fights that maybe other people wouldn't have put him in at certain points in his career in Philadelphia, out of town, where he even lost some, but he came back and he won them. He became Marvin Hagler. That's what happened. But a lot of people were knocking the Petronellis. Marvin Hagler stayed with him. And to the day he died, when I said a tribute to him on ESPN, and it's probably still up there if anyone wants to see it, but when I said a tribute to him, to this day, I stand by this, that, yeah, Marvin Hagler was strong. He was a great fighter. He was technically solid. He could fight inside, outside. He could counterpunch. You know, he had a great granite chin. He had a great heart. He had everything, and he was a southpaw. But I felt that his greatest strength was his character. And part of the strength of that character was his ability to be loyal to people when it wasn't easy to be loyal. When it would have been easier, more convenient to go somewhere else and to listen to all these naysayers and maybe go somewhere else with someone else who offered him money, that offered him other things. He was smart not to at the end of the day, but he was loyal. He was strong. And I believe that that same strength that we show in our life, that we show in our everyday character, or we don't show, I think that it either comes back to sabotage us, or it's there to strengthen us. It's there to propel us. It's there to rise us up. It's there to lift us. It's there to make us succeed. And I believe that his ability to be loyal, to show that strength and character, was part of Marvin Hagler's strength as a fighter, as the great fighter that he was. And why Teddy Atlas and other people still talk about him when he's gone. And he was gone way too early. So he made the right decision here to keep that guy, because that guy, without that part, he doesn't get to the next part. He doesn't come out a little better. He doesn't get through what he was going through, the doldrums, the being down, the maybe the little thoughts of, you know, I'm losing, I'm giving in a little bit. Maybe that goes further. This coach did his job. He did his job. His job was to do what he did, not to do anything else at that point, technical, to tell him, hey, behave like a pro. Get yourself together. And then when he saw that he wasn't responding, Ken, he grabbed him and made him look in his eyes. He looked in his eyes. He made him look because he made sure he was going to hear it. He made sure that he was going to get what he needed to get. The truth. And it woke him up. And it really, I think it saved the day.